Now we know that if A dot B is 0, or if we say that x1, x2 plus y1, 2 is 0. If A dot B is 0, or if we say x1, x2 plus y1, 2 is 0, then what we get will be actually cosine theta is 0. Well, cosine theta is 0, it tells us that theta is 90 degrees. Okay, if theta is 90 degrees, if this is A, this is theta, this is B, then vector A is perpendicular to vector B. This basically says that given two vectors, if we have their dot product, if we calculate the dot product and find out this one is 0, then immediately we know that those two vectors are perpendicular. Okay, that's a very good thing to see if we want to check if two vectors are perpendicular, even without drawing the vectors. Okay, so down here, what's the meaning if the x1, x2 plus y1, y2 is 0? What's the meaning for that? You know, that would mean if you subtract the x1, x2 on both sides, then what we get will be y1, y2 equals negative x1, x2. And then you divided the same number on both sides. This is x1. Then what you get will be y1 over x1 times y2 over x2 is negative 1. We know y1 over x1, if this is vector A, which is x1, y1, then this will be the slope of this vector. And if this is B here, then we know the x2, y2, this will be the slope for vector B. So that means if the one slope times another slope, you got negative 1, then you know two vectors will be perpendicular. That's what we learned in Math 126. 126 says that if two slopes have the product which is -1, then two vectors will be perpendicular. So it's actually from here. All right. Now, let's see what's the meaning for these two. For these two. U vector squared is vector U dot vector U. The left-hand side U squared is that. But we know if vector U is xy here, then is going to be xy dot xy. But we know xy dot xy is a parenthesis. Is x times x plus y times y. Okay, so this is going to be x squared plus y squared. All right. Okay. Now, what's the meaning for absolute value of vector, then choose squared? We know absolute value means the magnitude of u. What you do is you do x squared plus y squared. You then can choose the radical, x squared plus y squared, choose the square root, you will get the length or magnitude. If you then square this magnitude, and then you will get those two equal. Basically, is that you want to square that. So you have that. So that's why we say those two are equal. Okay. Now, probably we can do some examples right now here. We first look at this example. The example right here says that A is 1, 2, B is -2, 1. Please find the angle between these two vectors. Okay. So basically, the question asks us to find out cosine theta, and then we can find out value theta. Now we know is that if you choose A dot B, then you have a 1, 2 dot -2, 1. So it's basically 1 times -2. This first coordinate times the coordinate of first coordinate of the second one, then plus 2 second coordinate times the second coordinate of B. If you add those two numbers together, you have a 0. So A dot B is actually 0. Since A dot B is 0, A dot B is 0, is basically because of that, then cosine theta will be 0. Now we know cosine theta right here is 0. What's happened? Then two vectors, A and B, must be perpendicular. Okay, so you do not, then you know the degree will be 90 degrees for A and B. Okay, So it's very useful right now to see if two vectors are perpendicular. If it is not, then we can find out the angle in between vector A and B. That will be this example. Well, we know A dot B is 5 times -6 plus -7 times -4 will be this one. If you add those two together, the first one is -30. The second one is 28, positive. -7, -4, positive. Then you have -30 plus 28, you have -2. Okay. Now we know the value for the numerator. If we can find out the magnitude of A and B, put in the formula, we should be able to have a cosine theta. So, find out the magnitude of A. 5 -7 is that you square 5 plus -7 squared. Choose the radical sign, you have a 25 for 5, plus 49, which is -7 squared. 25 plus 49, then you got 74. You choose the square root. That will be the magnitude of A. So you put it right here. Similarly, the magnitude of B is -6 squared plus -4 squared. Choose the square root. -6 squared is 36 plus -4 squared, which is 16. Then what do we have? We have is -6 squared, which is 36. -4, 16. So add together, which gives us 52. Okay. So then you have is radical 52. You put it right here. By calculating -2 divided by the product of these two radical expressions, we shall have a -0.03. Now you then have a cosine theta is -0.03. Then you use the key in the TI-83 calculator is cosine inverse -0.03. You shall have a just 92 degrees between A and B. Okay, let's see if I can open my calculator to do cosine negative, and then -0.03, get 92 degrees. So let me see if I can do that by using my calculator on the screen. Okay, now it looks like it's going well. So here is my calculator then. Okay, now what we want to do is we want to find 92 degrees. So first we turn on our calculator, and then we do is want to check the mode. Mode here is in radian. Is not good. So we probably want to have a degree mode. Now we go back. Okay, so then you want to do cosine inverse. You do second cosine inverse. Negative is this key, not subtraction key. And then you put 0.03. You click on close bracket. You then hit enter. So it's actually 91.719 degrees, which is approximately 92 degrees. All right, I'll see you next time.